Hey everybody, how are you? How are you? It is Friday. Whoop whoop. And I'm so excited to paint these mermaid tails with you guys. And it sounds like you guys are excited about painting them too. So I will get started here in a second. If you're here, pop on and say hello and let me know um, if you're painting with me. Also, let me know where you are in the world. All right. So I know I have a big group of people that are new to me and I'm new to them. And it is so exciting. New painters hanging out with me. So if you are one of those people, then say hello. And again, let me know where you are in the world. I love to find out where people are in the world. So that being said, I am Amanda Schmidt. I am founder of Snappy New Day Watercolor and Watercolor Co. Monthly. So hang on, I forgot to close my curtain. I'm getting distracted. 1 second. Okay, now husband and puppy distract me. Hey guys, oh, Delaware, cool beans. Hey Stacy, and Pat. Hi Pat. So anyway, like I was saying, I am Amanda Schmidt. I am founder of Snappy New Day and Watercolor Co. Monthly, and I help people who are new to watercolor stop being overwhelmed and make some art that they love, so they can have a hobby that lights them up by teaching them sweet and simple watercolor. So if that sounds like you, then you are in the right place because we're going to be doing some really sweet and simple watercolor today too. So Hannah from Wichita and Angie from STL. Woo woo. So I love finding local around here. One of these days. Oh, and that I won't digress. But STL people, I'm going to be doing some live workshops around here. So keep that keep an eye out for those. Um, Betty is from New York. Oh my goodness. Mary Ann is from Northern Michigan. Amazing. So thanks guys for popping in. Happy Friday. And thanks for hanging out with me. So I introduced myself. Yes, hi Ann, good to see you. And oh, Christina's from Indiana. Cool. I love seeing all these new names. I love seeing new batch of painters. So I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to tell you guys that I want to thank you for everybody that signed up for the 15 minutes of watercolor 5-part series, 5-day challenge. Okay, so if that was you, if you signed up for the 15 minutes of watercolor, let me know because I wanted to thank you, thank you, thank you. It was such, I mean, for real, like it was so fun, first of all, to put together. So many of you signed up for 15 minutes of watercolor. So that just made my heart so happy. Hundreds of you signed up. 700 plus people. I mean, I picture like all you guys like in a big like auditorium. I mean, that is amazing. So what a cool, I was so tickled that so many people hung out with me this week. Oh, Diana, yes, Diana had signed up. So neat. So yes, thank everybody that signed up and painted with me this week. And if you did sign up and you're like, oh, I didn't do it yet, that's okay because you can still paint. You can still have access to the challenge through the end of the month. So it's all right. Let's see. And Lori, yes, Lori had signed up. Another fun announcement for Lori later on today, tonight. And Betty was there. Cool beans. Thanks, guys. All right. So yeah, so many of you a chance to really feel like an artist and get comfortable with watercolor. So let me know if that was you. I know a lot of people told me the feedback was amazing. They were like, "Oh, it's so much fun. I'm finally feeling comfortable or starting to feel comfortable with watercolor." So they just made my heart and still makes my heart so happy because that's exactly, you are the people that I was hoping to find because you're when I okay, back up a second. When I first started with watercolor, or before I started with watercolor, knew I needed like something. Like I knew I wanted something that I could do, that I could do for a long period of time that really lit me up. I wanted a hobby that lit me up, you know. And I was like, I'm gonna try watercolor, you know, it's cool. But I didn't realize how much I was going to absolutely fall in love with it. I'm somebody that I love to make things. I love to craft. I love to, you know, paint this, that, and the other thing. But until I found watercolor, I didn't really have like my hobby. Like this is my thing, and it makes me feel like you know, it was something I didn't even realize I was missing. So you know, something that turns you into an artist is just lovely. So if like that, now that you've had your 15 minutes of watercolor, then congratulations, and I'm so glad you hung out with me. Yay. All right. Oh guys, so many people saying oh. Let's see. Pat. Oh, Pat thoroughly enjoyed it. Love it. Thanks, Pat. Um, Stacy, so cool, guys. Thanks, guys, for signing up and being here tonight. So, oh, Emily says the 15 minutes awesome. Yay. Showed me that maybe I can do this. Well, I know you can. I know the feeling when you're like, maybe this is working. I can do this. Bite-sized steps, man. That's all it takes. So yes, thanks, Anne. And all right. So that being said, if you were with me in the 15 minutes of watercolor challenge, or you've been hanging out with me for a while, I know lots of you paint with me, you follow me, and I love it. I love it. But if you had that little bit of momentum, I wanted to keep that going for you. So one way that you can do that is to hang out with me in Watercolor Co. Watercolor Co is my private online watercolor community, and the doors are open just for this weekend. Okay, the doors are open today. They're going to close on Sunday at midnight Central Time. Okay, I'm pretty stringent about that because it's the things like I want to have my cart open, cart closed, and be able to focus on my watercolor folks over there in Watercolor Co. So it's $27 a month, or if you want to pay annually, it is $297. However, if you use my coupon code just this weekend, look here, you get a free month, an extra free month. So if you for monthly $27, you get your first month free, and then if you sign up for annual, you'll get let me back up. When you sign up annually, you get a free month anyway. And then if you use the coupon code, you'll get 2 months free. So there you go. So that being said, and Lori, I know you were hanging out here. You signed up already. I'm so excited to have you in the Watercolor Co. Community. And I'll talk a little bit more about what it's about if you're curious while I paint. All right. So let's do this. All right. We're doing our mermaids tonight. And so you saw in my post, I did add that if you're going to do this with me, you're going to need a white crayon, okay? Or a light colored crayon. Anything like the yellow or the light green, that can work too. In fact, on mine, I used white and yellow. So that's how we're going to make a really fun scales. It's called a resist method. So wax or crayons is a great way to create a resist in your watercolor. But I have outlined my mermaid in the crayon. Since it is white, you cannot really see it. So what I'm going to do, so you know how to draw it, I'm going to use a separate piece of paper and draw it in pencil so you can see how to sketch your fun. And so if you guys are just watching and you want to paint with me later, that's amazing. So this will be on my page for a good while. So don't worry about like, oh no, I'm gonna miss it. It's fine. You can find it again, I'm sure. So, all right, you ready? Let's sketch out the mermaid, and then we'll get started painting. All right. And if you guys have any questions about Watercolor Co. as I go along, feel free to pop them in the. Oh, I forgot to put the link. So sorry. Da, da, da. Oh, come on. Work. Oh, it's not going to work. Fab. Hang on 1 second, okay? Sorry about that. I had to get the link. Maybe. Mr. iPad, please. Please work. Okay, there we go. All right, so I put the link in there for you guys that want to find out more. Maybe if it loads. There we go. It's in there. Just look for, hopefully. Oh, no. Oh, man. Anyway, how about this? If it doesn't show up when we get done here, I'll be sure to put, okay, well, there we go. It should be here now. I got sidetracked. Sorry. So the link's in there. And if you have any questions about Watercolor Co., I will let you know. All right. So let's get started with our drawing here. All right. So this is going to be super simple. So for our mermaid tail, first thing you're going to do is draw a line and then I like to curve out a little bit. Okay. So let me, and I will say, if you're doing this on your paper, try and do it kind of light because you're going to put the white crayon over it. So that means the white is going to be on top of the pencil. And if the pencil's too dark, the white won't look super white. So just keep that in mind. Whenever, I mean, usually when I'm sketching anything on my watercolor, I keep it fairly light. So I'm drawing harder with my pencil than normally do for myself. So keep that in mind. All right, so now we're going to do the mirror image of our mermaid tail here. Okay, you can make it as big as you want. And then you can even come down to a point. Okay, so that's our mermaid tail. You can even put a little top to it, whatever. But that's her tail. Now we're going to give her her little fin. So we're going to do a little curve. All right. And then I kind of like to do like an S shape. So S shape like that. And then same over here. Now, if your tail goes off the page, that's okay. And in fact, I think that looks really fun when that happens. Okay. So there you go. Hi, Debbie. Good to see you. All right. So now, and now you can be doing this just with your crayon or you can be sketching it. But either way, the next part is you're just going to put your little scales. And now some of these can be bigger than others. They don't have to be perfect. But you're just going to make little U's across the hair and create your scales. Now I like to kind of stagger them. All right. And then you will do a few, I like to do a few lines on my tail this way and that way. Okay. So this is your sketch for your mermaid. But now what you need to do, like pretend this is your watercolor paper. You're going to take your white crayon or light crayon, or even if you are somebody that has some masking fluid, you can use that. I don't have the patience for that usually, I have to say. But you're gonna grab your crayon or some kind of wax, whatever. There's kind of like out there. There might be something that you could use that could mimic a crayon. So So really whatever you have, but I like to use white crayons or light crayons. So what you're going to do is kind of push hard and outline your mermaid. And what that's going to do is it puts the wax crayon on the paper. And when we paint, it's going to kind of like bead off of that crayon. It's so much fun. So I won't bore you with putting a white crayon on paper, but that is what you're going to do. Okay. So there you go. Now, something else you can do, which I didn't sketch yet. Something else I like to do is to put bubbles. So what you can do is do a little circle, and then you put a little like shape. So if you can move it up, if you do your bubble like that, you can do bubbles with your white crayon, like, or with your pencil, and then put white crayon over it. You can put your bubbles wherever you want. And that way, and which is what I did here, you just can't see too well because of the crayon. So this is going to be like a surprise when we put paint on. But you might be able to see I put some bubbles. And so when we go to do the background, the bubbles are going to show up, which are really, it's really fun. Okay. Are we ready to paint? I know I am. Whoops. All right. So there we go. All right. I am going to be using a fairly large brush tonight, especially because I don't tend to switch brushes. So I know for the background I'm going to be needing a larger brush. I could even use my bigger brush, but I think this one will do. This is a size 12. So this is my biggest round brush. So the way I think about which brush to use, big space, bigger brush, smaller space, smaller brush. All right. So I'm using my larger round here. Right? Now, I'm going to use some clean water. And if you were in 15 minutes of watercolor, you did at least one project. We did a few projects where we did this technique called wet. So we're going to take some clean water, and on the inside, and you'll be able to see your mermaid tail, even if you've traced it in the white crayon, you'll be able to see it in the light. On mine, you may not be able to see it too well yet, but just know I'm painting on the inside of the mermaid tail. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And by the way, if you just popped in, I want you to know, or I want to know rather, where you are in the world. We when I asked that, people were on, and some people were from New York, Indiana, Delaware. So cool to be painting with people like you would really probably never ever paint with in real life, or not life, but you know, in person. When will we have that opportunity, right? Not very often. All right, so I'm taking my clean water, and I'm putting it all inside my mermaid tail. Okay, so now here's one of the hard parts. Not really hard, but it's hard to decide on what colors to use. Now I'm going to use, you know what? I'm going to use like kind of traditional mermaid colors here. And I think I'm going to do some pinks and like yellowies and orange. And Debbie said, oh, Debbie, yes, Debbie is a member of Watercolor Co. I love having Debbie in my group. By the way, she reminds me, one of the biggest and best parts of Watercolor Co. Is the community. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. And oh yeah, Debbie's in northwest burbs of Chicago. Your snow finally melted. Oh good. Oh yeah, and now the people, is it Colorado and whatnot, are more snow. So if you're out there, hopefully you're painting and nice and warm, and you don't have too much fever. But if you do, you can paint, and that might help. Oh, Barbara says she's from Kentucky. Beautiful out there. Yay, she enjoyed the 15 minutes of watercolor too. Awesome. So thank you, Barbara, for staying up. I appreciate it so much. Linda is from Pennsylvania near Philadelphia. Welcome. Welcome, Linda. Thank you for popping by. All right, so now here's the thing. I start yammering and then my water dries. So hang on. Let me make sure. That's the thing. You have wet on wet. Make sure you don't leave it too long, otherwise it won't be so wet anymore. It'll still be pretty, but you know. All right, so now I'm going to take my pink before I get too far. I'm just going to kind of dab it wherever I want. And as you can see, that wax crayon is keeping the paint. Here, let me move this. Is keeping the paint from staying in places where you put crayon. So it's a really fun way to do some details and create white lines without trying too hard. The thing is with watercolor, it's very different than like acrylic. If you're doing acrylic, if you want something white, you just it. But with watercolor, you kind of have to work from your lights to your darks, and you have to kind of plan ahead, which can be a little bit tricky, especially even now. Like depending on what you're doing, oh man, it's like, ooh, what am I gonna do first? Then what? But if you're in Watercolor Co, I walk you through all those things. You don't really have to do that on your own. Okay. So planning out like, what do I paint first? What then? Should I wait for that layer to dry? And then what do I paint next? And should I let that layer dry? All that can be super overwhelming and quite daunting for especially new watercolor people. So in Watercolor Co, I sure to break things down into bite-sized steps. So it isn't overwhelming, and you will have frameable every month. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about the three kind of, I call them pillars, I don't know, of Watercolor Co. So the Co kind of stands for three things. It stands for color, it stands for confidence, and it stands for connection. So those are the three things that I try and focus on for my folks over at Watercolor Co. I bring them color every month. I bring them color every month by providing a pre-recorded tutorial video, exclusive project that is only for Watercolor Co. I don't share the stuff from Watercolor Co here on my free page because it's special to Watercolor Co. So you get a monthly project tutorial from me. You get access to the video library. You get access to all of our previous projects. So it's like this library that we're just building every month. It's exciting. Let's see, what else do you get? You get, most months we'll have an artist, a guest artist. So I introduce you to some of my artist friends. It's really exciting. That's something kind of new we started this year, and I really, really enjoy it. And then I will also be sharing kind of free bonuses. And I also am planning on popping in more live. So you might have some live surprise tutorials from me. And we have, every so often, we have live Zoom, like painting hello chats, which we have one coming up next weekend. And those are really exciting. And so all of those things are meant to build the color, confidence, and connection to painting with watercolor. So color, literal color. Confidence comes from just the doing, the painting, but I also break them down in bite-sized stuff. You guys know, hopefully by now, that I do after painting with me all week, you know, I break things down into bite-sized steps. It's just kind of what I do. It's just what I do in life. Because some of you guys may not know, I am actually a special education teacher. So I am well versed at breaking things down in little bite-sized steps. And so watercolor doesn't need to be anything different than that. So that's what I love to do for people. And so so there you go. That's what I want to do for you. All right. Debbie says, oh, Debbie's already connecting with people in the group. That's awesome. Oh, thanks, Kathy. Oh, thank you so much. Kathy says I make it well. So, you know, if I'm having fun, then I hope you are too. Oh, thanks, Elaine, for sprinkling. That's amazing. Let's see here. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay. All right. So let's see. So I talked about color. I talked about evidence. And I talked about, or I haven't talked about so much, the connection, and that comes from the community in Watercolor Co. Guys, I'm going to take water and fill in my next fin. Okay, so my fin here, I'm going to put water there. And we're going to do the same kind of thing on my, that I did on the body of the mermaid. So by the way, I am really liking these colors. I don't think I've done a bright pink one like this. If I have, it's been a long time. And so these are really fun. I love doing fun, whimsical, just painting really make me happy. Like this week we painted the birds and I said, these make me so happy. And a lot of you guys were like, yes, they make me so happy. I'm like, it's true. You really can't not be happy painting those sweet little birds and all the other fun little guys. You know, one of our projects, if you didn't do the 15 minutes of watercolor, have seen, one of our projects was these little cakes, and those were really fun. And I couldn't help but think, like, those are just happy cakes. So I kept commenting, like, I love your happy cake. It just looks so fun. Betty, cool. You know what, Betty? It's so funny. I find more people that are like in education or special education, more special education. It's so funny. So thank you for your 32 years. That's amazing. Not even halfway there. And I'm very tired. But thank you for doing that for so long. That's awesome. Debbie says, let's see. Debbie says it's built my confidence, and I love the way Amanda breaks steps down so I do not feel so overwhelmed. Well, thank you. That's exactly what I aim for every month with you guys. And it's funny, like I was talking about confidence, and it's not just the confidence to paint. Like that's fabulous and that's awesome. But it's kind of crazy, and this is something that surprised me when I started painting with watercolor. That confidence like leaks out into other areas of life that you may not anticipate. Like for instance, now I'm doing Facebook Lives and painting with people like all over the map, which is just mind blowing. You know, and I would have never in a million gajillion years been doing this had I not started watercolor painting. And yeah, it seems like, oh, sweet little, you know, demure watercolor painting. But it's crazy how like doing something like that for yourself, like, and then confidence in one area, it just kind of snowballs. It's crazy. It really is. Let's see. Oh, Diana, that's so sweet. So Diana is thanking you for her special education career because she has a special education daughter. She appreciated her teachers. God bless you. And oh, I'm so sorry, Diana. Her daughter passed away. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And yeah, Betty, 32 years is a long time. So kudos to you. Like I said, I'm not even halfway through. Whew. Today was our last day before spring break. And this was like our spring break was later this year. I'm not sure if it was because of the whole, you know, weird schedule we had at the beginning of the year with all the virtual stuff. But our spring break, guys, I'm going to take clean water and do the same thing on this one, by the way. Our spring break was later, a week later. A week later than normal. So I was, oh my gosh, this was a marathon. All right, so I'm going to take my, at this point, it's not so clean water, but cleanish water. I painted my fin here, so there we go. All right, so let's see. I'm going to start with my yellows. If you're painting with me, or if you plan to paint this, you know what colors you're going to use. I'm always curious what color palettes people are going to go with. So much fun. Not sure what colors you want to use. Maybe take a peek at a color wheel. I like to do that sometimes. You know, I tried to find mine the other day while I was live and I couldn't find it. And I hadn't had a chance to find it yet, but that's okay. But anyway, if you look at a color wheel, you really get neat color combination ideas. So if you get stuck, you can always do that. Let's see. A special ed teacher that, never met a special ed teacher. That does what Amanda does. Yeah, I don't know. There's too many special ed people out there. I don't need them if that's the case. All right, so now, guys, let's do this. In a perfect world, I would have had 2 jars of water. So mine's getting kind of yucky right now. Oh. So let's see here. I have a little bit. I have a little bit of water left. Okay, so what I'm gonna do. So now here's the thing. Let me move this down a little bit. The crayon, like I said, is the resist. So the crayon wax, whatever, is going to keep most of this water, this paint inside our mermaid shape here. So normally, painting something, I would like wait, let this dry, and then come in and do the background. But I think if we're careful and we don't go too far into our mermaid here, we can go ahead and do the background now. All right, so let's do that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my clean water a little bit here, and I'm just going to, just like we did before, put water all over the background. Now, I'm going to kind of work in this quadrant first. So that's my plan. So I'm going to put water all over here. Again, we're doing wet on wet. You could do wet on dry if you want to, but I find that when it's a large area, doing wet on wet helps it from being streaky. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna, again, like I said, I'm gonna focus on this corner here. All right. So now I'm gonna pick a color. What color do I want? Let's see. Let's go with my favorite, Payne's Gray. This is my favorite gray color. It's like a bluish gray. And I like to use it a lot for like instead of black or dark colors. It's just I find it to be very dreamy. So try and avoid that mermaid shape. And like I said, our little bubbles will show up. Because we put the crayon down, so that's really fun. Now, if you guys haven't noticed, please do that. I taped down a little piece of paper with painter's tape on a piece of like cardboard, or you can do foam board or whatever really you have. And I did that. I usually do that anyway, but especially for this, if you're doing the background, it takes a lot of water. So if you're using a lot of water, you really have to tape it down. Otherwise, your paper, even though it's watercolor paper, it's gonna kind of bubble and you know, kind of dome a little bit, and that can really cause frustration and kind of a mess, honestly, because your water will kind of start to roll down the hill if you're not careful. So be sure to tape down your paper. Now, you might notice it's kind of like getting, that's okay. When it dries, it'll flatten back out again. Okay, let's see. Oh, I missed some friends. Oh, the audio on your end is jagged. Sorry, Elaine. I don't know why. Who knows? It could be me. Sometimes I feel like I have random like technical issues. So keep going with the background here. All right, so guys, by the way, if you are just joining me, I've been talking about my private online watercolor community called Watercolor Co. The doors are open only this weekend, okay? So you can sign up, and two different ways. Well, you can use the link, obviously, but there's two ways to pay for your membership. You can do it monthly with $27, or you can do it annually, which means you get a free month. So it's $297. And anybody that signs up, monthly or annual, doesn't matter. You can use the coupon codes, scrolling across the screen here, and you get an extra month. So if you use the coupon code, you will get a month if you are signed up as a monthly person. And then if you use it and you're signing up annually, you'll get 2 months, because one is. All right, so guys, I'm making my sort of kind of clean water now, whatever I have left, and just kind of priming my paper back here for my background. Trying not to get in that mermaid area. All right, and all right. Now for the background, you could use whatever color you wanted. You could use more than one color. In fact, I'll do around here. Okay, so I put down like a pretty gray. I wonder, I'm thinking out loud here, I wonder how it would look if I had a little bit of green. You know, ocean water is all kinds of colors, so maybe if I add a little bit of green while it's still wet, that's pretty. Especially if it's still wet, you can kind of add whatever colors, drop in whatever colors you like. And since that Payne's gray is kind of blue anyway, the green's going to mix nicely with it, I think. Ooh, it's kind of teal. I love it. Okay, there you go. All right, so now here's the really hard part, is to let it sit and dry. So I know some of you guys were saying like, oh, it was so hard to stop painting, and like times, and I judge not. Some of you guys were like, oh, I went too far. I should have just stopped. I'm like, I know, that is one of the hardest things when you're doing watercolor, is to stop. So if you get to this point, at least pause. You can speed up the process with a hairdryer or a heat gun. I think usually if I do like a crayon or a resist of some kind, I usually don't use a heat gun to speed up the process, especially if you use masking fluid. Don't do that. That is big. Believe me. I learned the hard way. But the heat gun hairdryer, they can kind of do funky things with the crayon wax. So you can try it, but just know, I just want to let it kind of dry on its own. And something I love to do is to add some lettering. So there you go. Use whatever you like. I just kind of found that quote somewhere and thought it would be appropriate. So let's see. Oh, Marianne says, Botanical paintings are very detailed watercolor flora paintings with small brushes. Yeah, not loose at all, and definitely not outlined with a micro pen. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's funny. Botanicals. I love looking at botanicals. Like, I mean, those artists are. I just don't know how they do it. And when I first started watercolor, I liked looking at those paintings so much. I really was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do the botanical watercolors. But I wasn't getting a whole lot of joy out of it. Like it just wasn't, it didn't turn out to be my style. And so my style, as you guys can tell, is bright, whimsical, illustrating, to say sometimes. So if that's you, then come on over to Watercolor Co. because we have all kinds of really fun paintings. In fact, here, let me grab a few of our, maybe, let's see, my basket of past projects here. Let's see if I find, so this is something we did, was it last month, this month? Our blooming umbrellas. Let's see. Where's all my paintings? Oh, this is one we did back in the fall. Our blue, called a Blue Harvest. That was one example. Oh gosh. Oh, this was our Winter Cardinal. Was that fun or what? This was my favorite one. That one was really fun. So those are just a few examples. Oh, our teacups. Those were really fun. That was February? January? I don't know. All the months are really together. Anyway, those are a few examples of some of the things we like to paint over there. And those are just the monthly projects. And like I said, it's more than just a monthly project. You get all kinds of things, video tutorial library full of short, sweet technique videos, and ways to build your practice. You get bonus projects, guest artists, access to all kinds of stuff that I do outside of watercolor for free very often. And then you get the community and me. So there you go. So if you want to keep painting with me, I'll 15 minutes of watercolor. People, by the way, thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me all week. And the comments I got were amazing. I just feel like the joy like radiating out of the computer. People were like, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So much fun. I was going to share that. I took all the comments from the 15 minutes of watercolor and did a word cloud. I don't know if you know what that is. But you take all the words, and this word cloud kind of makes the words that are used more often bigger. And so like, it's like all these words, and the biggest words were like fun, cute, painting, loved it, it was so cool. So I'll have to share that. And so yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me for that. Have you ever, oh, you know what, that Debbie, that's a great idea. Chance, if I ever did a Crayola, written in Crayola, and then a saying, and then paint it over right now. I've never done that. That's a great idea. You could even do that with, like I said, whatever you're using for resist, the masking fluid or whatever. I usually let the paper dry, or I do the micron pen afterwards or before I paint. And so that's a great idea. That would be so cute. Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. All right. Oh my gosh, friends, I'm so excited. All right, so here's, like I said, be sure to let this dry, and then you can do whatever you want with it. You can add some lettering. You can add more bubbles. Here's something I do to do, if I can find it. When it dries, and I'll show you a little bit more in my example here. You may have noticed in my example, I have some teeny tiny scales. And I did that with a gel pen. So like a jelly roll pen, you can kind of come in when it's dry and add like teeny tiny scales on all of the scales, or just, you know, one every so often like I did. But there you go. And you can also, I like to kind of come in and add a few more lines on my tails. All right. So there you go. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Yeah, I like these colors too. Warm colors, cool colors. Oh, a retail for everybody's taste. All right, guys. So yeah, if you want to sign up, I'm gonna put right now the comment link is in the comments. So go there. Let's see. And if you guys have any questions about Watercolor Co, be sure to let me know. And by the way, the doors close Sunday. Okay. So if like I said, if you've been painting with me for a while, hanging out with me for a while, you've been thinking about it. The doors were open back in January. And I said, I didn't know when they were going to open up again. And that's true. I was just kind of on a whim, following the fun and momentum from the 15 minutes of watercolor. I was like, you know what? I'm going to open them just for this weekend. So I'm opening them this weekend, but they close on Sunday. Okay. So, so there you go. That's all I got for you. Just sign up. I know you're going to have fun. I guarantee you, no one has signed up that has regretted making some fun art. I mean, really. So there, and it's anytime. Like if you in a bind, if you go, oh, it's not fitting my budget anymore, I understand. But I do encourage you to take the leap, make the commitment to yourself, and hang out with me every month and then some. Okay. So I'll see you. Yeah. Debbie says, come join us. Yeah. All right, guys. Any questions, let me know. Be sure to use a coupon code. And if you forget, it's okay. Let me know and I'll take care of it. Okay. So, all right. I'll see you guys later. Bye.